So Joseph Smith translated the Book of Mormon by putting a rock inside of a hat and words would appear on the rock? Well, believe it or not, yes, he did. And a lot of people both inside and outside of the church struggle with this and find it hard, and some have even had their faith shaken because of this. Now, this really shouldn't be that shocking or hard to believe, at least not for Bible-believing people, because God has communicated with his prophets through many different ways since the beginning of time. And there has been many prophets who have used objects or instruments to call down the powers of God, to perform miracles, and to receive revelation. For example, Moses and his staff. That staff turned to a snake. That staff split the Red Sea, called down plagues on Egypt. There's Aaron's staff. There's the Ark of the Covenant. There's the brazen serpent. And a major one is that there was a breastplate with the Urim and Thummim. Now, the Old Testament doesn't specify what the Urim and Thummim is exactly, but it came with the breastplate, and there's general consensus and belief among most denominations that believe in the Old Testament that the Urim and Thummim were two stones, and that through these stones and the breastplate, the high priest would receive guidance and revelation from God. Now, that's a big one. There's high priests receiving revelation through stones and the breastplate. And even Jesus Christ himself used mud to heal a blind man's eyes. So objects and instruments have been a huge part of receiving revelation many times through the scriptures and since the beginning of time. I mean, Joseph Smith had the seer stone, and with the plates, he actually got what they called the interpreters. Now, these interpreters were many times by witnesses described as kind of like spectacles or glasses in those days, kind of like two stones or crystals tied together with a bow, and it also came with a breastplate. So that's pretty much exactly what the ancient Israelites used to use to receive revelation, but Joseph Smith got these along with the gold plates. Now, Joseph Smith did use these interpreters to translate, or later on they started calling them Urim and Thummims because they're very similar to the ones the high priest used in ancient Israel. But witnesses said that he mostly just used a single seer stone for the translation, just out of practicality and convenience. So the words that were on the gold plates would appear on the seer stone in English, and Joseph Smith would put the seer stone in a hat just to block out the light and make it easier to see the words on the stone. And well, you might think, well, if he didn't read the words straight out of the gold plates, what were the gold plates there for? The witnesses said that the gold plates would always be nearby, but wrapped up and covered. I think the major purpose of the golden plates was just to serve as a physical object or physical evidence for the ancient record. Now let's remember that God works through these objects, and the objects alone don't have powers or magic. That's why Joseph Smith would always say that it was translated by the gift and power of God. If you want to learn more about the translation, check out this book.